Hi. This poem is called Forecast. It was written to the prompt connection, and it was also written with Earth Day in mind. And thinking about the connections of various microenvironments, but also the distances that we need to bridge, so to speak. Forecast. Riding the late afternoon, laissez-faire breeze, home from the island, on a swatch of watercolor canvas, softly brushed in rose and lavender by a gifted god's finesse, and stretched to frame with the same strength that plunges supernatural sunburned artists' arms, elbow deep in pines, to carve a future from fire, repairing the seedbed in the aftermath of furious thermal events, where fierce, fragile contenders have tested their limits and trampled the earth and each other in overexuberant evacuation. Isolated but never alone, puddle-jumping migrants waiting on a spring layover, wary but not alarmed by the last detectable smolder dissipating under the drifting canopy and lingering in indigo clouds, muting to indulgent grays, easing toward the impossible parallel horizon and the great carbon sink that is the sea. So this landscape is really an amalgamation of several of my own experiences driving around during and in the aftermath of wildfires last year. And one of them is picturing driving home from LBI, and you're going over the bridge, and the bay spreads out towards the horizons on either side of the bridge, and the sky above is flat, but parallel, towards the horizon, and then I'm trying, and in the distance are the flame, the smoke from the fires, drifting, and so the picture here is, there's this furious activity in the actual microcosm of the fire. But then there's this, there's a whole nature on the periphery of it that is affected only in a sense of, there's a sense that something is there. So I'm picturing these migrant birds, maybe egrets or different waterfowl, waiting in the marshes or by the bay, and just kind of sensing that, the smell of smoke, but it's not there, it's coming from elsewhere. And so this is how I think we are in the world. There are natural events and there are man-made events, and unless we're right in the middle of it, it's other to us. It's other. So even though this poem was written to the prompt connections, I'm not sure how strong those connections are, how much altruism there really is in the world, and how much of it is just, a selfish point of view. And is that wrong or right? I don't think it's wrong or right. It's just, it's maybe not ideal, but it is where we are and how we are. And it takes a great leap to bridge that. Thus the bridge in the poem. There you go. Forecast.